What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you another fella roster update. Now, the week that I decided on these changes was week 3. I decided these changes during week 3 here, as we just had our match with Waffles the Asian Yen Bear and his Tampa Bay Tyrantrums. I will not spoil the outcome of said match, as I did in the last free agency update, but it was a very good match, and I implore you guys to go and watch it. So we actually did 2 swaps in one, and I'll explain how that works, because with our point system, each tier counts for a certain point. OUA, 24 points, OUB is 20, UU is 16, RU is 12 points, NU is 8, and PU is 4. So as long as you stay in your salary cap of 168 points amongst your team, you can pretty much do whatever swaps you want. So the first model we're dropping this week is Carbink. Clear body and sturdy are great abilities. I understand. Base 150 defenses across the board, fantastic. But base 50 everything else, 50 HP, 50 attack and special attack, and 50 speed. That's not going to help much. The 50 speed, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great either. The 50 attack stats makes this thing very, very passive, and pretty much allows for opponents to just sit in front of this thing, set up on it, and then eventually sweep us. Because Carbink just can't do the damage back to it that it needs to at the end of the day. Also, its typing, Fairy Rock, makes it quad weak to steel, so anything with a bullet punch on it can pretty much either OHKO this thing or come really, really close. And 50 HP stat doesn't help us much either. Its move pool is also very, very shallow. It doesn't get very many good moves to back it up offensively. It's basically just a stealth rock throwing, screen setting wall. And it's not really, it doesn't have the versatility necessary in a league format for it to actually flourish. So with that, we decided Carbink was gone. So that's a PU mon, so we get back 4 points. Okay. Next up, we're dropping Frostlass. Now, it says that it's BL2 here, so it technically makes it a member of the UU tier in Smogon rules, but we have it down in RU, so dropping this will get us 12 points, so we'll have 16 points total to work with. So keep that in mind. Looking at this thing, base 110 speed is pretty much its only purveying positive quality. Base 80 attack stats is great and all, don't get me wrong. And base 70 defenses kind of sucks. It's very frail. So you kind of have to run it with a Focus Sash or make it just a speedy offensive mon that's going to pick up kills. And that's kind of hard to do with only base 80 offenses. And as you can see, the only sets they have are Focus Sash sets, Destiny Bond, Taunt Spikes, Ice Beam, stuff like that. That's pretty much all I could have ever seen myself doing with it, and it just didn't fit in very well. I was able to find mons that could do, kind of do what Frostlass would do for our team better. Having an ice type is great and all, and that's kind of the plan. I want to have an ice type on the team. It's just not this one, I mean, Ice Beam, Icy Wind, they could have been useful. Ominous Wind would have been great, Shadow Walls and stuff. We could have done something with it, but at the end of the day, this mon just didn't fit well on our team. So we had these 16 points back. I immediately looked into the NU tier because I thought in my head, I can get, because there really wasn't much left in RU, and there wasn't anything too amazing standing out to me in PU. So I looked in the NU tier, and I was looking around. I wanted to try and find things that could replace these mons and actually be more useful. So the first mon I got out of NU was Regirock. Now, if you just look at these stats, Regirock is fucking amazing. Now, he might only have base 50 speed, so we don't gain any speed by picking him up instead of Carbink. But we have base 100 Spadef, which is really, really good. Base 200 defense, which is ludicrous. You don't even need to invest in his defense. If you want to invest defense, it's fine. You can make him as bulky as you want. But you don't have to. Base 80 HP makes it really good because it adds extra bulk. And then base 100 attack allows it to hit back hard. You can run this thing just bulky, stealth rocks, you know, Toxic or Thunderwave things, Drain Punch for longevity, Earthquake, Stone Edge, or Rock Slide, depending on your accuracy goals. You can run this thing as a Sunsetter if you really wanted to, with Explosion. And Explosion is going to do massive, massive damage to this thing, from this thing. This thing also carries a lot of really, really good moves. It carries the elemental punches, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, and Thunder Punch. I believe it does get Ice Punch, and it does get Thunder Punch. Yeah, it carries all the elemental punches, which is fantastic. It's got Toxic and Thunder Wave for statusing things, which is really, really good. It's got powerful, hard-hitting moves like Super Power, Stone Edge, Rock Slide, Explosion or Self-Destruct, Rock Tomb for lowering speed, which could get really, really useful in this kind of format where something faster might switch into this thing and then get slowed down and then be able to be countered by Regirock. The Stealth Rock setting is really useful because this thing could very well eat a hit nicely, get rocks up, and then proceed to do some work. Protect for scouting things, blocking high jump kicks too, because things are going to basically have to go for high. Basically, fighting mons that have high jump kick have to go for high jump kick against this thing, because Drain Punches and such will not kill a Regirock. I've learned this. I learned this in the PFCFL. I had Mega Lopunny, which is base 135 attack. I went adamant, max attack, and I still couldn't even kill with a high jump kick. Barely kill. I think it was like a roll, and that's insane. So things have to go for high jump kicks against this thing, and having Protect would counter them hard. Would completely hard counter them, 100%. And that's pretty good for me. I want to be able to hard counter my opponents, and this thing just does it so much better. It's got Iron Head for fairies. It's got Hammer Arm, Giga Impact, Focus Punch. Could be really useful actually if I ran a subset. Earthquake, Dynamic Punch. Just it's overall just so much of a better mod, and it gets countered. I actually didn't even know that. This thing gets countered. That could be really useful against a mon I know I can say, for example, I know I can live you know, close combats from something like a Sock or something like that. I can live a close combat or a Drain Punch or something like that and actually like kill it with a counter, and then gain some HP back with leftovers and just live forever. That's fantastic. So that was the first mon I scooped up, and I also still wanted an Ice type, and I picked up Jinx. Now, looking at Jinx, you know, you kind of laugh a little bit. You know, base 50 attack, that's garbage. Base 35 defense, that's garbage. Base 65 HP, that's not terrible, but not great. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, since I mentioned all of the nicknames of our fella drafted mons during the thing, I should have mentioned the new nicknames, the nicknames for Regirock and Jinx in this one. I forgot to do that in my free agency video for Wigglytuff, but you've already seen him used this week as the name has been given of Tuffles as a Dragon Ball Z reference, because the Tuffles were a proud warrior race next to the Saiyans. Not as good as the Saiyans, but they were kind of like the Saiyans. But Regirock will be aptly named Jura, after one of the 10 wizard saints in Fairy Tail, because I'm an absolute Fairy Tail geek. Yeah, I want you to know. I want you to know. I probably will I don't know what I was just saying. But when I was home for winter break, I literally watched like almost 100 episodes of Fairy Tail. Like, yeah, I binge watched Fairy Tail like crazy. It's one of my favorite animes by far. So, Regirock portraying as Jura, who uses earth magic with solid rocks being his source of weaponry, I figured that was a very fitting nickname. So Jinx is here, and obviously I'm not going to call this thing Grateful Buster. This is going to be Kardashian the Jinx, because it's just, I mean, look at Jinx. It looks like the Kardashians. It literally looks like one of the Kardashian sisters. I swear to God. Anyone tells me otherwise, you're lying. Dry Skin is an amazing ability. Dry Skin is a fantastic, fantastic ability because it allows me to kind of have an immunity to water types, which is really, really good. It gives me another, water type immunity on my team, which is really good. It kind of shuts down any form of water type that wants to face me. Base 95 speed, really, really good. Doesn't break that base 100 speed tier, which is kind of unfortunate. That's one downside of this thing against Frostlass. But, what can you do? Base 95 Spadef, it can live a special hit if it wants to. It can be Assault Vest if it really wanted to. Base 115 special attack. Now, this is one of the main draws I got from getting Jinx, is base 115 special attack. And the reason I say that is, well, it actually can hit hard. Basically, it breaks walls. It tears through wall cores if it wants to. Alright, let's go down to that move pool. Blizzard, if I wanted to run it, if I needed the extra power, I could. We got Draining Kiss as potential fairy coverage. Not really great fairy coverage, but it's there. We've got... I'm only going to talk about moves I would potentially use. Energy Ball for coverage against those water types that I wall. If he has nothing for me, or if he determines that it's necessary to sack it off, I can get off an Energy Ball and kill it. Focus Blast, really hard-hitting move. Good for coverage. Grass Knot, good for those heavy mons. All the hidden powers, obviously. Ice Beam, Hyper Voice, Icy Wind for speed drops, which is really, really good. We got potential screens. Lovely Kiss is one of the best moves. Even though it's so inaccurate, I've never missed a Lovely Kiss. So that's kind of a thing, and I really want that to be a thing. So that's actually going to be used probably at some point. Hopefully it'll work out for me. You never know, but we'll see what happens. Magic Coat could be useful, as it could bounce back status moves that if something tries to paralyze me or something like that. Nasty Plot, if I want to set up with this thing, that could really do that. Perish Song, Psychic Psy Shock, Rain Dance setup, which would be kind of cool. Would be actually kind of decent, because I'm pretty sure, do Dry Skin mons get back HP in the rain? I think they do. I'm not sure. I think they do, though. I think they do. I'm not totally positive. I'll actually look that up later and figure that out before actually using Jinx in a match. We have Shadow Ball here. Shadow Ball is going to be really, really good for coverage as well. Signal Beam. Sweet Kiss for confusing things. Taunt, really good move. Toxic can be useful. Just so much good coverage. So much good coverage on Jinx. And I think it'll work out really, really well for us in the long run. So that is it for our latest team update for Fella. These mons will be available for usage on week 5, as we made the swap on week 3. And the way to remember is we have 1 full week with the old mons before we get the new mons. Fair enough? Alright, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like down below. And if you guys are planning to support the Hazleton Hoopas as we try our very best here in Fella, please make sure to subscribe and follow our journeys through this league. Until next time, guys, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.